Good morning. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm Danielle Watson. This is the Danielle Daily. I am feeling a little bit tired today. You know, it's Friday, it's the end of the week. It's pretty natural for us to be feeling the effects of all the things that we've done over the week. But I was thinking about it this morning, and the reason I'm feeling tired isn't actually what you might think. It's not necessarily that I didn't get enough sleep, that I tried to do too much. There's actually a really interesting reason that I'm tired today. And I also wanted to share with you another reason that sometimes I feel tired that you might not think of when you notice that you're feeling tired. It looks like Christy is watching. Elena has joined us. Thank you so much. If you're just joining us, I'm Danielle Watson. This is the Danielle Daily. We're talking about reasons that you might be feeling tired that perhaps you hadn't considered before. I know I'm feeling kind of tired today and I'm dragging a little bit energy-wise, but it's not that I haven't had enough sleep. It's not that I haven't had enough to eat. It's not that I didn't take care of myself this week. It's not that I have an overwhelmingly stressful life. You know, those are all reasons when we're trying to do too much that we find ourselves tired, and it's completely normal and natural, and usually the answer is we need to do less, or we need to get more rest, or we need to feed ourselves more nutritious food. But there are actually two other reasons that I often find myself tired, and I bet that you find yourself tired for these reasons too, but maybe you haven't thought about them in quite this way. So I wanted to chat with you about them today and, you know, kind of give you an idea of how to recognize them so that you can understand, you know, what's really going on with you and that you can take care of yourself in a way that helps you restore your energy. Looks like Tammy's watching. Thank you so much. So we're doing an early edition of the Danielle Daily today. You know, Friday, I know you guys are all excited to get on with your weekend and get things done. Before I talk about the two reasons I find myself tired that maybe you haven't thought about before and you might want to be able to recognize in your own life, I just wanted to thank each and every one of you who has already gone and liked the Danielle Daily Facebook page. Eventually, I will be moving these broadcasts from my personal page to that Danielle Daily page. And the reason is that I know there are a lot of people who would love to see these videos, but they don't necessarily want to be friends with me. And so I wanted to make these available to anybody in the general public who wants to receive tips on things that help them have a better life, that help them help themselves, that bring them something that's positive, something that's inspiring, or something that's just plain fun. And if by doing this through my personal page, I think that limits who can join us here, and so I wanted to open that up. So if you've already liked the Danielle Daily, for now, I will be sharing these videos over there, but eventually you'll start receiving the broadcast notification from that page rather than from me personally. Nothing will change other than that these will be more visible to more people. So thank you so much if you accepted my invitation last night to like that page. I'm very excited that I have a new home for the Danielle Daily. We'll be moving there eventually, but not right away. So I'm curious, are you excited about Friday? Are you feeling tired today? You know, what are your weekend plans? This is the last weekend before the holiday season really descends upon us. So I'm curious what you guys are up to. It looks like Zephan has joined us. Thank you so much. That guy has really been on my mind lately. I ran into somebody who we both know, and he is the one who actually recommended the designer to me, who is doing the cover for my Notes to Self book. And I received the mock-up earlier this week, and it was absolutely beautiful. She does beautiful, amazing work. And so Zephan, thank you. I appreciate that referral. You're awesome. You rock. Thank you so much. So I wanted to talk about two reasons that you might be feeling tired that perhaps you hadn't thought about before. So like I said in the beginning of the broadcast, I'm feeling pretty tired today. Today is Friday. It's normal for us to feel kind of like, oh, the week is over, but there's actually a different reason that I'm feeling tired. And we've sort of talked about this before. So remember when I talked about the 4 stages of mastery, unconscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence, and I missed one in there. So unconscious incompetence, conscious competence, oh my gosh, I'm getting them wrong because I'm tired. So Anyways, 4 stages of mastery. I talked about them in a different video. Maybe I'll talk about them again when my brain is a little bit working better today. But basically, I tried something new this week. I tried something that was completely new to me. I had to get the technology down. I had to film 7 videos for that. So I was doing something that was completely new to me. And I find that when I try something new, it makes me really tired because I'm moving through these 4 stages of mastery. At first, I have no idea what I'm doing. And then I'm focusing really hard to do what it is I want to do. And then I get a little bit better at it and it's happening more naturally. And then finally, at some point after I've practiced it many times, I get to the point where I'm doing it naturally. It's no longer taking energy from me. I'm actually receiving energy from it. And so that is the reason that I'm feeling tired today. It's not that I didn't get enough sleep. It's not that I didn't take care of myself. It's not that I didn't eat well. It's not that, I had some super stressful project that was a deadline and I had to do it. It was literally because I was doing something new. And so it was taking something from me in a different way. And I think a lot of us run into this when we try something new. We have to go through that series of stages and we have to practice doing something new until we get good at it. And sometimes we get tired in the process of that, and so we quit doing it. It looks like Tammy Keck says, TGIF, busy day and looking forward to planning for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. She also says, it is exhausting when you are learning something new, mental fatigue. Yes, so for me, I almost think of it as like soul fatigue because I'm tired all the way into my bones, and all I want to do when I've expended a lot of energy trying something new is to just rest, to just lay around and do pretty much nothing, sip tea, and I'm not functional. I don't want to make decisions. It's funny, my friend Mary messaged me 2 days ago and she was like, you want to have brunch on Saturday? And I'm so tired, I haven't even replied to her because thinking about doing something on Saturday just feels completely overwhelming. Even though I know it would be fun, I can't even envision having something I have to do on Saturday because I'm just tired. I just need to rest. So I wanted to give you that example. I have another example of a reason that you might be feeling tired that I find affects me quite often. And it was something that I didn't even realize for years that this was something that made me tired. And I'm curious, do you find that when you're trying something new and you're trying to get through those stages of mastery so that when you're doing the thing, it feels natural and it feels energizing and it feels, even though maybe it's exciting while you're trying it because something new is always exciting, but I wonder if you also experience that fatigue as you're trying to get to the point where this is something that you're good at and can do with some level of ease. It looks like Tim has joined us. Thank you so much. So again, I'm Danielle Watson. This is the Danielle Daily. I'd love to hear what your weekend plans are. I'd love to know if you've experienced fatigue from trying something new, that mental fatigue. It affects me mentally, but it also affects me physically. I feel it in my bones. I feel tired in my bones when I've had to try something new, or even not necessarily had to. When I have tried something new, it's very exciting. The idea of starting something new and trying something new is always very exciting. But then the effect of it is that I end up tired because I've had to put a lot of focus into learning all the new pieces of how this works, and then at the end I just know that I need to rest. So today I'm feeling tired. I'm not going to do a whole lot, and this weekend I'm probably also not going to do a whole lot because I need to rest. So the other reason I find myself tired that I didn't even think about until way into my adult life, it's almost a little embarrassing, but I get really tired when I'm bored. So if I'm not challenging myself, I find that I feel either anxious or really fatigued. So, it's interesting when we feel that feeling of fatigue and tired, we think, oh, I need to do less. I need to take things off my plate. I shouldn't be challenging myself. But the interesting thing is that sometimes when we're not feeling challenged enough, we can feel tired, we can feel deflated, we can feel like we don't have much energy running through us. And I'm curious if you've ever noticed that before. I noticed that it's very common with people who are fierce overachievers like me, that when they're not feeling challenged, and they're feeling bored. Maybe they don't even recognize it as boredom. They feel tired, and that feeling of fatigue is actually caused from boredom rather than from needing to do less. Some of us, we run on that fuel of learning something new and doing new things, but there's that fine line, right, between doing something new for the first time all the time, which personally I try to be doing something a little bit new all the time, even if that means that I'm just trying a new flavor of potato chip, because I like to take in life and I like to try new things. But if we're always kind of starting at square one over and over again, even if you are an overachiever, that can be really fatiguing. So it's good to be moving through those further stages of mastery where it's not the first time you're trying something, you're getting a little bit better at it, you're working yourself up through being able to do it maybe with a little bit of concentration, but not all of your concentration. And then there's that wonderful feeling when you get to the point where you're doing something that used to be new to you, that used to be hard, that used to cause you fatigue, and now it's easy and it's energizing and you feel like, yes, I rock because now I can do this thing, and it feels wonderful. So we want to have that feeling, but we don't want to overdo it. It says, Tammy Keck says, energy begets energy after rest. It's like working a muscle with rest in between, or letting the muscle waste. You're exactly right. That's a perfect analogy. I love that. I'm going to read it again just because I love it and I want to make sure everybody heard it. So Tammy said, energy begets energy after rest. It's like working a muscle with rest in between, or letting the muscle waste. So yeah, working that muscle, I talk about the positivity practice, and it's like working your positivity muscle. You're doing it over and over again. And that doesn't mean you have to be positive all the time, but, work on practicing. That's what I'm always trying to let you guys know, is that whatever it is you want to get to, however it is you want to be, however it is you want to live, the key to getting there is simply practicing over and over and over, and just getting there in stages. You're getting there as long as you're practicing. And I know that sometimes we get tired and we need to take a rest, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the process. Taking a step back, taking a rest, reevaluating, or just forgetting about it altogether, and then getting right back to our practice so that we're moving towards who we want to be, how we want to live, how we want to think. So I have today's note to self for you. You have a few more moments if you want to let me know what you're up to this weekend. If you want to let me know that you also find yourself, kind of feeling tired when you try something new, or what are your thoughts about feelings of fatigue coming from boredom rather than overstimulation? Is that something you've thought about before? Was that an aha for you, that you're like, oh my gosh, that's me, I didn't even realize it? So here is today's note to self. You'll want to write it down. These are just little snippets that help you remind yourself of what it is that you want to accomplish in life, how you want to be. I hope these are motivating for you. I have a lot of fun writing them for you. I'm super excited for my book that is an entire year of these collected together to come out. It will be out later this year. It's just in the final stages of being put together and being ready to launch out there. So again, today's note to self, here we go. Dear self, things will get easier with practice. And isn't that the truth? We sometimes forget it. Thank you for the thumbs ups and the hearts. I really, really appreciate those. Those make me feel so good. We get tired sometimes as we're practicing, and there's nothing wrong with taking a break, but by practicing over and over, we are gaining strength, we are gaining momentum. And if there's something that you want to accomplish or achieve, all you have to do is just keep practicing towards it. So let me read you this note to self again. Dear self, things will get easier with practice. So write that down, use it to remind yourself when you're feeling fatigue that yes, you might be in the stage where this is very new to you. It takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of energy, but at some point, things actually will get easier, and momentum will build, and strength will build, and whatever you're working on will get easier. I promise you. So this week, I put a lot of energy into learning the technology behind putting together my very first Help Yourself program. And then I had to get it out there and promote it. And really the hardest part was not putting together the content. The content was something I've used over and over and over again with friends and family and clients. The hard part was formatting it all and putting it into this specific website, and then planning, what videos I needed to film for, and then where I was going to distribute it, and how the payment processor was going to work. And all those pieces were just a lot. They were a lot of new things for me, and so they tired me out. But it was something I wanted to do because I want to get really good at packaging these help yourself ideas, so that anybody can access them, so that you don't actually have to know me to receive this. You don't actually have to hire me to receive this. You can get this information and know how to use it, whoever you are. And so this week it was difficult. My goal for myself is actually to create one of these every week for the next couple of months. So if you have something that you'd really like me to dive deep into and create a program for, I'd love to hear about it. I'm going to be doing things that are all over the map just to kind of experiment and see what works for people, what doesn't. And so I can practice the skill of getting really good at going from an idea to development to implementation, and then start it again, start the cycle again and again. I've challenged myself to do this, and so I'll be working on that. And I really appreciate your input on what I put out there, whether you like it, you don't like it, and even more than that, I'd love your ideas on what it is you'd like to see me put together something on, because I believe that we can all help ourselves probably better most of the time than other people can help us. And I want to help you be able to do that for yourself, because you're the one who's with yourself all day, every day. And so you're the person who's always there to help you. And if you know how to help yourself, you're going to be able to do that on a more regular basis than if you're depending on somebody else to help you. And I want to give you the tools to be able to do that. It looks like Tammy Keck said, a coach once told me beginnings are hard, and she's so right. Beginnings are hard, but with practice, things get easier. It looks like Karen has joined us. So I just gave today's note to self. We are wrapping up here, but I will give it one more time. I highly recommend you write it down. I think Karen actually will really like this because she's a fellow yogi like me, and so this is a truism that you definitely learn through your yoga practice. And it says, "Dear self, things will get easier with practice." And I always like to sign mine, "Love me." If you practice yoga, you know that the more you practice, the easier it gets, at least physically. Mentally, the mental practice of yoga takes a lot longer to move it off your mat into your world. But at least the physical practice of yoga, if you dedicate yourself to it, you do see improvements very quickly. So after the broadcast is over, I would still love to hear what you guys are planning to do this weekend, what you're looking forward to spending your time on this last weekend before the holidays really descend upon us next Thursday. Tell me what you're thinking about my observations on fatigue. I'm feeling fatigued because I tried something new, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't try the new thing. It just means that's part of that cycle of the 4 stages of mastery, which I could not get out my mouth today because I'm mentally tired, but I will type them into the comments for you. I did talk about them on a previous episode, and I know I will talk about them again because that's really how we practice and become who it is we want to become, and live the way we want to live, and think the way we want to think. And so I will be talking about those over and over, but today it was a tongue twister because, like I said, I'm tired. And then the other reason I gave, that sometimes we feel tired and might not realize it, especially if you're an overachiever, sometimes we feel tired when we're not being challenged enough. And so when we're feeling tired, sometimes we think that the solution is to back off, to do less. But if you find that that's not helping you and that's not energizing you and you're not feeling restored by that, consider that maybe you need to offer yourself a new challenge and a new way to stretch and grow yourself, and that's where you might receive the energy that you're looking for. So happy Friday. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me through, putting my very first Help Yourself product out there. It's for people who are really would rather have a root canal than get together with family this holiday season. It's full of techniques that you can use that will help you know what to say and do so that you can enjoy your holiday and that people don't steal your cheer from you. I think it's really good information, and I think it's things that you haven't thought about before. If it's not something that applies to you, you might know people who are in that situation. I'd love it if you'd share it on your page. And again, I appreciate and love you guys so much. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. I will be back here on Monday for another edition of the Danielle Daily, and I'll see you guys then, okay? Love you. Bye. Mwah.